I got to check. Hi, everybody. Oh, there we go. Live. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dreaming Big with Jsquared. I am Jeannie Solston, and as you see, Julie Gettner is not with us tonight. She had a prior commitment, but I have my good friend, Miss Katie Seppi from the great state of Alaska.
Hi, everyone.
Who jumped in here to help us out. I'm just going to make sure that we're live. Hold on one second.
On my page, although I'm very dark.
You're very dark. I am very light, so I'm not really sure what. There we go. Okay, we are live. Good job. All right. So again, welcome in everybody. We've been gone for, oh, look, I didn't even spell anything right. Isn't that nice? I spelled dreaming with no M. That's what happens when you're in a hurry. I just literally ran in the door from work. I had about 3 minutes to get the dogs outside and to try to get on. So apologize for the typos. But anyway, we are finishing up part 2 of what we started a couple weeks ago, and that's how to take action on our dreams and the things that we want to do. Really quickly, I'm just going to go through the 6 things that we talked about last time. And one was get your day started great by doing the most important thing first. That was one of the things that we had fun with, that because the most important thing is usually the thing you don't want to do. So get up and get that done first. Number 2 was just take responsibility for your actions and the process. You know, we always say just stay the course, the process, let it work out, and it does. 3 was don't feel like doing it. Start with something small. Right? Don't look at your whole list and think, oh my gosh, I have to do all this. You know, start with one thing at a time. And then number 4, we talked about don't hurt yourself. This is about don't overdo, right? Make sure that you're staying within your realm of what you can do. And then 5, a reminder to focus. You know, take your top 3 priorities. Again, it's about taking that list of things that you have and not feeling so overwhelmed, but just stay focused. Take your top 3, do those, go to the next one. And then the last one I think we ended with was stay accountable to the people in your life. And again, accountability partner. Katie's my accountability partner. We have other names for it, but we try to enable her. Yes, we do try to keep each other accountable quite a bit. So we're going to jump into the last 6. And I just want to thank Katie because she's kind of going into this blind, but I know that she'll pick up and have things to say. So number 7, about, again, this is how to take action. 7 is cycle fully focused work and fully relaxing rest. And here's what that means. It suggests you get your kitchen timer or a stopwatch, set the timer for 45 minutes, and do those minutes for work. Like just focus on work, do that. And then after those 45 minutes are up, take a break. You know, we talk about this in a lot of things like, you know, focused Fridays and the things we do for our business, you know, work your business for 10 straight minutes or a straight hour and then go do something else. And I think what happens is that you don't get so overwhelmed when you just give yourself 45 minutes to work. I used to do this with my kids with their homework. I'd set a timer. I'm like, okay, go do your homework for an hour. Just get as much done as you can in that hour. And then after that, you get a break. And for some reason, your brain just kind of clicks in and really focuses for that time, knowing that you only have this much time to do it. And then you take a break. So I think that that's kind of important. And what it says is by working these fully focused periods, you'll get more done because your quality of work is higher. You'll be able to concentrate for a longer period of time in your day. And you're going to train yourself to focus on the things that you need rather than getting distracted by, you know, the 10,000 things that are going on in our day. And be able to enjoy your rest periods. So you're not going to feel guilty. Like you're going to work for 45 minutes, you're going to take 15-minute break and you're going to go enjoy that 15 minutes. Like if you're working at your computer, get up, go take a walk, go sit outside, like make it an actual restful 15 minutes. So
can I just say something about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't remember what book I was reading, or maybe it was an Audible, but the author was saying exactly that. They
Mm-hmm.
struggled to sit down and write. And somebody suggested to them to pick the amount of time, and I don't remember what
Yeah.
it was, but set your timer.
Mm-hmm.
You sit down and you do it for 30 minutes or an hour, whatever your timer is,
Right.
distraction free. Like
Yes.
you put your phone away, you don't have the TV on, you just sit and do your thing. And
Yeah.
I wish I could remember who it was, but they said that, that's how they made it through,
Yeah.
because they kept putting off doing it. And by setting the timer and scheduling that time every day,
Yeah.
it made a big difference for them.
Well,
So
and I think I do think it's easier because I don't know, like, I think our brains work in this, like, okay, I've got 15 minutes to do this. It's almost like you kick into overdrive and you like really, really get working. Where if you don't have a time frame, you're just kind of, you get distracted. You think, as I do, I know I got a million things. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'll finish this. And pretty soon it's 2 hours later and I've done absolutely nothing. So it also says that if 45 minutes is too much, like if you find yourself, if your mind is wandering after like 20 minutes, then do 20 minutes.
yeah.
Do 20 minutes and then do, 15 minutes of rest time. Go back and do another 20 and you'll start teaching your brain how to focus more. So I think it's worth a try, and I know that it does help me. I've done that. How many people on the weekend say like, okay, I'm gonna get all my chores done so that I can go play for the weekend, right? I
Yep.
do that. Like I get up on Saturday morning and it is my time to get the house clean, the dishes, the laundry, the plants watered, the whole bit, so that I don't have to do it. So I'm very, very focused on Saturday morning to get all that done. And if I don't do that, the weekend can get away from me and I'll get like half of it done. And
Yeah.
then, so I really do focus. So I really like that one. Um, so the next one says focus more on the how to and less on the what if. Oh, we are good at the what ifs, aren't we?
Mm.
And it says, if your thoughts start spinning as you're thinking about taking action, then in your mind, say stop. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in the negative spiral of analysis paralysis. Um, we're good at this one. We all are. I know that I am. And we start thinking, well, what if this and what if that, and I can't. And that negativity is, as you put that negativity out there and it comes back twofold, no matter what you're doing. And what it says to do to train you out of that is to ask yourself, what is one small step I can take today to move forward towards my goal or out of this situation? So, what's one small thing I can do towards my goal? And what is the one thing I can learn from this situation? So, let's say you're starting to feel less than, or you're starting to doubt yourself, or you're maybe looking at your goals and you're saying, oh, that's too big. Like, what can you do to get out of that? And what can you do? What can you learn from it? This is funny because, as I told you before, right before we got in, I'm listening to The Power when I commute. I've been doing that all week. Thank you, Heidi, for suggesting I do that again. And it's been so amazing because exactly what they're talking about is negative thoughts, any type of negative thought, whether you doubt yourself, whether you're talking about someone, whether you're talking about a situation, whether you're thinking badly about something, any type of negativity, anything you put out there, that is what you attract. That is what you attract back to yourself. And even just listening to this in the car, I'm like, oh, this is just, it's like, it, but
Oh yeah.
sometimes you have to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true. And it seems simple, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually pretty difficult to continue to be positive and find the good and not look at the what ifs and not look at what everyone else is doing, but stay focused on your own goals. Love where you're at and where you're going. That's what the power is. A lot of is the law of attraction and love. And I mean, I think that's just super important because the what ifs will kill you every time. I mean, I'm good at it.
Well, the interesting thing about that too is how easily we can fall into the what if negatives
Yeah.
but we don't fall into the what if positive,
Yeah.
because you know what? What if
What
you
if?
do win? What if you do
Yeah.
succeed? What if you do lose the weight? What if you do get the job? What, you know what I mean? I
Yep.
feel like it's so, I don't, it's unfortunate. And this
Mm-hmm.
is where the work comes in, that it's feels natural to slide to the negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's that stinking thinking, and you got to kick that to the curb.
Well, and I do. I mean, I think that, and I don't know why. That's a great example. Like, what if, and what if I did get that job? What if I
Yeah.
did get money in the mail? What if I did find whatever? Like, we tend to just, you're right. It's so easy to go to that negative. It's not going to happen. And we talked about it a little bit a couple sessions ago about getting out of your own way and getting out of your own head. And I think that's a big part of it, is start thinking about, well, what if this actually works? That's what when I first started, doing gratitude and all that kind of stuff. We talked about my gratitude journal. I am a big gratitude journal person. Um, and even listening to the power in the car this week, I start thinking like, and I think I'm a fairly positive person, but I'm realizing there are things that I still am putting out in the universe that are negative, and I
Mhm.
need to quit, because so many things in my life have happened because I have put that positive energy out there. And and I mean, I know that, I mean, I bought my house, I got my job, I mean, all these things. And we've talked about this a couple of times before, and yet I will still question what if. And I'm like, what? Why do we do that?
We don't give ourselves credit. It's no different than you lose 50 pounds and you're whining because you can't lose the 10 pounds, right?
Right.
And I say that like I do that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
forget how far you've come because you're only focusing on this little bit. So
Right.
you have to remember how far you've come. But it's work, like not in a bad way,
Mm-mm.
but listening to the power or watching The Secret, or listening to anything that's good
Right.
versus scrolling the negativity feed,
Absolutely.
or
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
watching videos that aren't necessarily good for our mind. It's
Yep.
feeding our mind with something good.
Good.
I think it
Yep.
was, I don't know, was it Ray that posted something, I don't know, today or last couple days about negativity, and if you think about it for more than 5 minutes, like it's negative. Like,
Well,
I don't know if it was him. I'll have to go back and look at my
yeah.
feed.
One of
Interesting.
the things that the power said, it was today on the way home actually, and it kind of hit me. Like, I know that negative thoughts put out negative thoughts to the universe, but what it said is, if you say something, like if I say something negative to you about someone, and you turn around and you say that same thing to someone else, and then it continues to go, right, as things like that do, you get back not just what you put out, you get back what everyone has put out. And I was like, holy, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine? Like, we know how rumors and things start. One person says something, and then all of a sudden 5 people know, and all of a sudden 20 people know, and think about that. That was like
Yeah.
mind-blowing to me. It wasn't just what I said, but it's
Well, it
now
gets
what a
interpreted a
hundred
different way
people.
every time. Like,
Yeah. But
interpreted
it's
and
still
escalated.
negative.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
still
yeah.
negative. So I just put out 100 people's worth of negativity.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, that just
Heavy.
puts it in a whole different perspective, right?
Yeah.
And so I just, yeah, we've got to continue to think positively and move forward. So I like that one. Number 9, I think this might be my favorite. People don't care that much about what you do, so don't let them hold you back. That is a powerful statement. And
Yeah.
I think basically it's that, the realization that we are not the main character in everyone else's life. We are only the main character in our own.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what other people think you can or can't do. It only matters what you think you can do.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've all heard it, especially in the, the industry that we're in. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, I've had people over the years say, "Oh, well, years ago, I'll say, oh, that doesn't work." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, I lost 70 pounds."
Yeah. It kind of does. Yeah.
I mean, but you know what?
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like, I know how I feel. I know what the supplements do for me, or eating right, or exercise, fill in the blank, whatever
Yeah.
the thing is.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if they've maybe had a bad experience at a company, maybe they were an employee and it was good for me and bad for them. It may sometimes just circumstance,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So
Well, and I like the fact that because I think as human beings, we want acceptance, right, from people. That's
sure.
one of the things we look for. But
Yeah.
I think really we have to remember that it's not, if I met you and you decided you didn't like me, okay, that's your choice,
Mhm.
right? It's not going to stop me in my tracks and derail my life because someone chose to not be my friend or
You
not
shouldn't
join
put
me
that
in a
much you shouldn't put that much stock in any one person. Uh,
right. And because like I love that it says is that you are not the main character in their life. You're the main character in your own.
yeah. I have a
You
long
know?
list of people that are not a Katie fan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, you know what? There's been
but it's
times in my
okay.
life where I have felt bad, or, sometimes you can say, like, well, I don't care what anybody thinks. We do. I
We do.
do. Of
We
course
do.
I do.
But I
But
think we need to make sure that doesn't stop us.
it
Right.
doesn't drive, no,
Mhm.
right? Because nobody's paying my bills.
Yep.
Nobody else is responsible for my happiness,
Exactly.
and, my
Yep.
health, all the things, right? So
And
it's
your
like,
dreams are your dreams.
yeah,
Like they're not anyone else's dreams. And it doesn't matter if someone else thinks your dreams are crazy or silly or whatever. Like I don't care.
oh yeah,
They're my dreams. And when I get there and when I fulfill them, guess what? I'm going to be happy. And you're not. So like
yeah. I've made some decisions in my life, and I've had people say, you know, that's not the right thing to do. You
right.
shouldn't be doing that. I mean, and I've had to just say, like, you're raining on my parade. Like, I won't have it. I
Yep.
mean, I make the decisions that what's best for me, my kids, my family, and I'm
Right.
always going to do right by them.
Yep.
And who are you to say different? So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
there are certain people, and it's their personality maybe, that always want to give their advice.
Yep.
And that's okay.
And that kind of goes right in what you just said, kind of goes into the next one. Number 10 is tap into enthusiasm. And it says, when you dream and when you get started with something new in your life, then the enthusiasm flows like a fountain, right? So you're doing something, we've all been there.
Mhm.
Something new, you're excited, it's great. Don't lose that, basically, is what it's saying. And let the enthusiasm of your accountability buddy, you, flow all over you and create a flow back to him. Again, that's what you put out, what you get back, right? Listen to things that inspire you. Like don't so I think when we start something, we're enthusiastic for a good couple days to a week. And if we're not adding to that enthusiasm, it kind of starts to dwindle, right? So basically this is saying keep it flowing, keep it coming into your life. So your enthusiast or your accountability partner, listen to podcasts, audiobooks. It's what I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
Read things, websites, take courses. Let the enthusiasm continue. Don't just let it dwindle, because it's almost like I don't want to, but it's like a diet, right? We start a diet, everybody's done it. We start a new way of eating, whatever, and we're great for like a week, 2 weeks, usually. That week 3, we're not excited about it anymore.
Mhm.
But if you tap into other people's excitement, like I'm thinking about the challenge, right? When we did
Yep.
the challenge, I couldn't have done that by myself, but having my team and the other coaches and tapping into that enthusiasm kept the enthusiasm going throughout that whole challenge. And so I think you need to do the same when it comes to your dreams. When you start a new journey towards a dream, you need to keep that enthusiasm going. Like you can't just throw it out there and say, okay.
Yeah, I think that's where it's helpful to have some smaller things along the way to celebrate. It's like losing weight. You can't say, well, I'm not going to celebrate till I hit 100.
Right.
Maybe it's 10 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever. Same thing making money. It's like until I make 1 million, you have to celebrate it along the way.
Yeah.
Or like dating or when you're married, or you have to put in the work and
Right.
put in the time. And going back to one of your steps that you read off from before was about your why. And I think revisiting that helps keep your enthusiasm too.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
be like, why did I want to do this?
Why did I do this? Right. Well, and the other thing too is celebrating other people as they're going through their journey and accepting their enthusiasm. It doesn't have to be the same goal, but opening yourself up to and again, I'm very fresh off of the power because I just got out of my car a little bit ago, but it talked about that as well as opening up to the love and the happiness around you. Celebrate other people. When you celebrate something that someone else has done or accomplished or received, you're putting a positive energy out there instead of saying, oh, wow, they got that, I didn't. That's a negative energy that you're going to get back. So, and then I think it goes to enthusiasm, positivity. I think they're all kind of lumped together. That basically it's just keep it going, do things that keep you on that track, keep you excited, keep you enthused to work towards that goal, because it is hard work.
Yep.
Yeah. And then this is our favorite one, Katie. Number 11 is add the fun. Because, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, it's one of our core values, right?
Exactly.
For our company. And
yep.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like, how many people, not you, because I know you don't commute anywhere, but those of you that are listening, how many of you have a commute and you get in and you turn on your favorite music or your favorite podcast and you listen to it? You're making it fun. You could just sit there in silence and complain about the traffic. That's not very fun. But put on some music. And what this is saying is change your perspective on what you're doing, lighten things up a bit. And so it tends to become quite a bit easier to take a lot of the actions on what you may have procrastinated on. So, again, one of the things the power talks about is playing a game with yourself if you want to accomplish something. And that game is in your mind of pretending that you're, we've done this before, pretending you're already there, pretending you already have that. It talked about, I think it was the money chapter. And it said something about, maybe you don't have the money, but what it wanted you to do was play this game as you're walking down the street, pretend you had X amount of money and think about it, imagine it in your head, the people that you would give that to and why, and think about how excited they would be, even though you're not giving it to them because you don't have it yet. You're going through the motions and you're putting out that energy that you're doing that. And I think that's so important, but I think it's also sometimes so hard for us to understand that part, to live as if we had it, live as if we already did. But I think that makes it fun. Make it a game, make it a fun. Like, I don't know about anybody else. When I needed my kids to do something, we always made a game out of it. Chores were a game, do this, you get that, or who can do it the fastest, who can clean the room the fastest, it makes things easier,
Well, it's no different than, when I would go to the gym and be on the treadmill. Okay, how did I get through my hour? I listened to my Audible book, or I watched something on my, my phone, or you're driving in the car, you listen to your Audible. Anything that it's kind of multitasking, but maybe you instead of dreading your time on your commute, you use that time to make some phone calls.
Yeah.
Multitask, right?
Right.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I've been on a phone call commuting and got home and didn't remember my drive either. So you got to pay attention. So it might not be good for someone like me, um, but you know, you do have to, some things aren't so fun that
Yeah.
you got to get done. And so you got to figure out a
And
way
some
to,
things you have to do every day. Like, I mean, not every day, but I mean, I have to drive into work. So, you know, I listen to an Audible or I listen to music. And I also try to look around. Like, I know this is funny, but I mean, I drive the same road every day back and forth, the exact same road, because I take the express lane. So I literally am in the same lane there and the same lane back. But I started this the other day. I tried to start looking at noticing different things, because just like you said, I would all of a sudden be at work and not remember how I got there.
yeah.
Right?
Have
Because
you ever been driving and you look and you're like, is that house new?
Yes.
It's
Right.
been there for 20 years, but you always do kind of look at the same things,
Yeah.
or maybe you're just
So I try to make it kind of a game where I'm just like, okay, what am I going to notice new today? That kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think that if you can put the fun in anything, it just helps it. And, you know, when we're going towards our hopes and dreams, you know, it's got to be fun, because if it's not, is it really a dream? You know,
well, it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
If you're not going to make it, because you're going to dread it. I wanted to say too about, you know, when you were talking about, you know, you talk as if you've done it, or it's like visualizing. Like I have visualized doing certain things in my life, you know, getting on a stage and training at convention, or celebrating, you know, all the people in the challenge. Talk about celebrating people. How easy is that? Like, that was like
so fun.
One of the funnest things I ever got to do. But I visualize all the time, like, you know, we come into this big amount of money, and what would we do with it? What would we do for our kids? How would we tell them? What charities would we give to? Think of the sports complex that we could build in our area, and the you know, tuition that we could pay for people. All those things. I do that all the time. I think that that's important, because you have to make sure you're filling your, not that you want to have money and stuff and things like that, but I'm just saying, visualizing as if your dream has already come gets you closer to achieving it.
Well, and it's funny that you said that, because I just finished, like I said, the money chapter in The Power. Or maybe it was yesterday or this morning, I don't remember. You know, and and I'm right there, because there was a lot of years a while ago that I struggled, because I had the wrong perception of money. I always, you know, and it talks about this in the book. It talks about, instead of like, well, I can't do that because I don't have money, or we don't have enough money for that. Like, you got to quit saying that, because every time you say it, guess what you get? Nothing.
Not enough money.
Exactly. You don't get enough money. And instead, and I actually can say that I started doing this years ago, where I would just say, when I started doing my gratitude journal, and that is the one thing that I have just been really, like, every day, you know, and if I miss a day, I'm kind of upset. But one of the things that I say, and we talked about this way back on one of the first ones, I do a thing where you do 8, I am grateful for something that hasn't happened yet. Right. So you do 8 of those, and you do, so let's say I am grateful to be debt free. Now, I'm not debt free, but I'm grateful to be debt free. You do those, and then you go and you write 3 I am statements. So I am confident, I am successful, whatever. Then you go on to your gratitude. I'm thankful for all the things that you have in your life. And even in the book, it says, be thankful for the money you have, even if it's not enough right now. Be thankful for it, because if you're not thankful for what you have, you're never going to get any more.
Yeah. And you can really, I mean, I spent a lot of years as a single mom, and struggling financially, and money ended up being like a negative thing, because there was never enough, and we were always struggling. And, you know, what I know now is a lot of that was how I handled it. It
Mhm.
wasn't, I mean, we were
Well, but
scared.
it's how you felt about it. Yeah.
Yes. And that has carried on with me. It carried on, probably into, my kids and I'm not saying that money is everything. I'm not saying that, but you can do a lot with it.
But you're
And
not, and
if
you're,
you
but you're not
focus
going
on
to
the
get
lack, you're going to have
that.
lack.
Exactly. If you focus on lack, you're going to continue to have lack. If you
Mhm.
focus on gratefulness for what you have and what you're going to have,
Yeah, the
then
abundance.
you're going to have it. I mean, it actually, I can attest to that. The story of my house years ago, I said, I'm going to buy a house. And at the time that I said that, I had no idea how. I couldn't afford it. I didn't make enough money. There was literally no way on paper that I could qualify to buy a house. And then I kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you. I said it and I put it away. And then when the universe decided that it was time, I got a new job. I found my house and qualified and moved in within 60 days. Boom, done. And I sat here what just happened?
Yeah. Well, I think we've all had things in our
Oh,
life that
hello.
have just come together
Okay.
as a miracle,
Get down. Yeah.
I
But
have
you
some
have to have the right
situations for sure.
mindset. I
Yeah.
really believe you have to have the right mindset for good things to come into your life. You have to. There's just no way around it. So, okay, we're almost at time. We're going to get this last one. 12 is celebrate what you did today. So it says take 2 minutes at the end of your day to think about and appreciate what you did today, what you got accomplished. Don't think about the things you didn't do. Think about the things you did do. Find the good in your day and celebrate them every day. Again, putting out positive, good vibes out into the universe for the day. Maybe you didn't get through your whole to-do list, but you know what? You might have got 5 of them done. Celebrate that.
And sometimes the to-do list might just be unreasonable and too long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I think one of your things was don't be so hard on yourself and don't make it so big.
Yep.
Maybe the to-do list is things to do for the whole week and daily you check some off.
Yeah. And I think the point is just be, again, gratitude, be thankful, be excited that you did what you did. Focus on the good things that you had today. I mean, I've had bad days and I have struggled at the end of the day to find the good in it, but I've really tried. And maybe that good was I made it through the day and I get to go to sleep now. I mean, you just have to find the good in every day.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
single
I think
day.
we can easily, especially like I used to, I have to get up, I have to go to work, I have to commute, I have to fill in the blank, whatever it is.
Right.
Instead of I have a good life. I mean, I can get up every day.
Right.
I can help people.
Be thankful.
I can, commute to work or whatever it is.
Right.
Not everybody can say that.
Yeah.
So I think that is all about your mindset.
Absolutely.
You do instead of you have to.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're 5 minutes over, but I think we did good.
Well, that's just what you get with me. I mean,
I was gonna say, I thought we did really good.
And if you didn't know that going into this, then shame on you because you've known me long enough. So.
Well, I want to thank you for helping out tonight. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to be on here with you. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, again, really quickly, Julie and I say this, and Katie is also a promoter. So if you guys have any questions about our business or anything else that we do, or if you have any questions just in general about mindset, we're here to help. We're here to help everybody's dreams come true and help people get to where they need to be. So I appreciate everybody jumping on tonight, and we will see you all next week. Thanks, Katie.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.